Welcome to the first ever live episode of Late Night Conversations, your new favorite hotspot for all things love, laughter, and life before and after I do.
We're so excited to kick things off tonight, especially since it's Valentine's night, the perfect day to celebrate love in all its messy, beautiful, and often hilarious forms. So grab your cozy blankets, pour your favorite drink, and get comfy because we're about to dive into what makes marriage the wildest, most rewarding adventure.
And trust us, if you've been married for years or just tying the knot, we've got something for everyone. Whether you're sharing your first Valentine's together or reminiscing about years you've spent side by side, tonight is all about connection.
So here's the deal. Late Night Conversations isn't your typical love podcast. We're talking real talk, the highs, lows, the funny moments, and the did we just say that out loud moments. We want to know your stories too, so feel free to drop your questions, thoughts, or hilarious marriage fails in the chat. The more, the merrier.
And tonight's episode is extra special because we're launching this live. And we've got some fun surprises lined up, like love-themed games, polls, and of course, some romantic giveaways that just might make your night a little sweeter.
So whether you're newlyweds, seasoned pros, or just curious about the journey of love, you're in the right place. And we're not talking about just flowers and chocolates. We're diving into the real heart of it all. What keeps couples connected and thriving long after the honeymoon phase?
Ready to kick off this wild ride? Let's do this. Welcome to Late Night Conversations, where love meets laughter and we talk about the stuff that really matters.
Well, what's up, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day night.
Hey everyone, happy Love Day.
How are we doing out there on Valentine's Day night? It's so good to have you joining us. We're going to have some fun tonight. My name's Caleb, for those that might not know, and this is my wife, Stephanie, and we have been married for 25 years this summer.
That's right.
Hashtag goals.
Yep.
25 years. And we figured out that today is our 28th Valentine's Day that we've spent together.
That's right.
Consecutively.
28. Wow.
Concurrently, like in a row, 28. That included the years dating.
Yep.
We didn't have any off time.
No,
we didn't take a break from each other.
Nope.
28 years in a row.
28, baby. It's good.
And was today everything we ever dreamed it was going to be?
Today was a little rough.
Today was rough. Today was different.
Today was busy.
But we're together.
That's right.
We're together. Hey, listen. Do us a favor. Let us know where you are watching from in the comments. Let us know where you are watching from in the comments. And we got some questions, and we want you to stick around because at the end, we're going to be giving away a $200 Visa gift card that you can use towards a date night.
That's right.
$200 is pretty good for a date night.
Date night only. You can't go and you can't spend it on anything else.
No groceries.
Nope. Can't spend it on your kids.
Moms, don't spend it on your kids.
Nope. You have to spend it on each other.
Guys, don't spend it at Bass Pro Shops, right?
That's right.
We gotta use it for what it's meant to be used for.
That's right.
You gotta go on a date. Here's what are some ideas for $200? We're in DFW. We are in the DFW area, so you should be able to find on the right night.
You should be able to find a really nice restaurant.
A really nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And after the restaurant, I mean, if you don't just blow all the money,
yeah,
you might be able to kind of divide it up and eat half of it,
mm-hmm.
Stay in a hotel for a night.
Yeah.
Just one night. It's not even hard to find a babysitter for just one night.
That's right.
You can do that.
One night. Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, we could do it.
That's right.
That'd be fun.
But, yeah, so with the 200, you don't always have to also use it right away. You can save it, and if there's something that you want to put it towards.
Yeah. You
There's
might.
something that a trip maybe you want to go on, you can put it towards that. But the goal is to do it with each other.
True, true. And hey, listen, this is a brand new podcast for relationships. There's going to be a focus on marriage, but here's the great thing. You are probably more than likely going to be in a relationship at some point in time with someone you're going to want to get married to.
Mm-hmm.
That's our goal. We want you to find that person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Find the one you want to spend 28 Valentine's days with.
That's right.
And so maybe you're married currently and loving it. Maybe right now you're actually on a date. And man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We did this for those that might not have had an option for Valentine's night. Maybe you got the kids at home and you couldn't go on a date. We wanted to do something for you. Hey, but if you couldn't go on a date and you're on this live, you can win that $200.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll have some money to go on a date.
That's right.
We're helping people out. We're making marriage great again.
That's right. And also, if you do have small kids, because I know that's always really hard to go and to prioritize date night when your kids are little. What we used to do is at least try to go once a month, prioritize date night at least once a month, get a sitter once a month, maybe find another couple that has kids also, and maybe you guys can switch date night, watching each other's kids. And so, yeah, that, because when you have small kids, it's a little harder to get away with each other. Another great idea that we would do sometimes is just have date night in. So after the kids would go to bed, we would, have our dinner together, and we would, do candles and
Take
stuff
out
like that.
or
Yeah.
cook.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's fun
right.
to cook together, right?
And we did takeout a lot too,
Mm-hmm.
because you can dress up some takeout now.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different ideas when your kids are smaller, some workarounds. But I think the goal and everything is to be intentional.
Yep.
Be intentional in prioritizing each other and the time that you have with each other. So,
I like that.
yeah.
So this is Valentine's night. And so we want to know some things. If you're married, let us know in the chat how long you've been married. Is it?
It's a good one.
Are you newlywed? Still in that honeymoon phase? That's probably what, 0 to 3 years?
Yeah, 0 to 3 years.
Maybe 0 to 2.
Yeah.
3 if you're killing it. Are you in that, in between stage where you're just trying to figure out if you made the right decision, 2 to 3 years up to like maybe, I don't know, 7 years? That's that magic number everyone uses.
Yeah.
That's that in between phase. We've really gotten to know the real you, not the you that we thought you were. And so you're trying to figure out, okay, do I really like this person?
Yeah.
Are you in that phase? You in that middle phase? Or are you past that 7-year mark? And you're looking towards those 10-year, 15, 20, 25-year milestones.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know. If you're dating, let us know how long you've been dating. If you're engaged, let us know the date of your wedding.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat.
And the more involvement, the better your chances, that you increase your chances of actually winning the 200.
That's right.
Because we're looking for engagement. So we want you guys to talk back with us.
So question, here's a question. What is your most memorable Valentine's Day ever in your relationship? What is the one Valentine's Day that really sticks out? Good or bad? I mean, and maybe even funny. It's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
It's okay to laugh. And every like, it's impossible.
It's not always going to be perfect. So,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, your
impossible for it to be
Valentine's Day isn't always going to be just, perfection every single year. And in my opinion, I feel like Valentine's Day should be every day. So Love Day is every day in my book.
After 28 Valentine's Day, I know my wife's a hopeless romantic.
That's right.
So you would be okay with dinner and a sappy movie you've seen hundreds of times. John Michael
Yes.
Montgomery.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
What's your memory? What's the one that just comes to your mind? There's been 28 of them. I mean,
Well, I think the ones that really stick out to me the most, honestly, is when we were dating, like 28 years
Yeah.
ago. um, I think that when you're dating, there's something about when you're dating, there's so much creativity. Okay. So, your goal in dating this person is you're really trying to not only get to know them, but you're trying to impress them. Because you should know after a few dates if you really want to continue a relationship with this person or not. And so you're pulling out all the stops, you're doing out all the things. And so one of the things that just I really remember is Caleb. He would handwrite cards, and he's very artistic, by the way, for anyone who didn't know that about him. And so he would literally take these big posters and make, cards and stuff, handwrite cards and write little poems or whatever on them. And I just remember him doing that a lot. I think he was really trying to impress me a lot.
did it work?
It did. I'm here.
28 years.
28 years later. So I think just you being really creative in those times.
Yeah.
And like I said, like as you get into marriage, and we'll talk about that, more and more and more, but you have to really use intentionality. It's just hard. Life is hard, and sometimes you have seasons of just ups and downs, and I think most women are they may feel like that they should be living in a fairy tale, and I just believe that's sometimes unrealistic. As the more time you spend with each other and the longer you're married, and your knight in shining armor may not seem so shiny to you anymore.
What's that saying? They got
You know?
some chinks in their armor.
Yeah, and so that's where intentionality comes into play with each other, and you just have to realize that it's going to take effort.
Yeah.
It's going to take work, and it's going to take some creativity, especially when kids come along. So, yeah, it can be great. You have to make it great.
You got to make it great. So I think my favorite memory, as I kind of just scan through the Rolodex, 28 years, that's a lot of Valentine's days. My favorite is one of the most recent ones. I don't remember which year it was, but for those that are local, and I'm sure other cities have something like this, but I thought it was really cool. We found out that in our local city, there's a lock of love fence. And you go and you buy a lock from one of the downtown establishments, and you write your name and your anniversary date on there, and you put it on that fence. And we did that one year.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was after COVID, probably 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. And it was so simple. I mean, super. It did. In fact, the lock was $5, maybe $10 at the most. I mean, obviously you can take your own lock, but there's just something about going in the store and buying the lock and going and putting it on the fence. But we went back to try and find it. So if you do this, don't use permanent marker because it's not permanent on that lock.
It rubbed off. We couldn't find it.
So we don't even know which one it is.
But we know it's there.
Yeah, it's there. And we're probably going to go back, buy another lock, etch our name and date in it, and put another one on there.
Let's do it.
But I mean, that was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think that just speaks to the simplicity of yes, pull out all the stops, go
Simple
all the
and
way,
yet
but
still
then
creative,
also,
you know?
do simple things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We also, we just want to answer any questions. This is live. So we want to answer any questions you might have now, and obviously if you watch this at a later date, I mean, we'll jump in the comments and see what you've left. But if you got some questions for us, we want to answer them now. It's easier to answer them live than in the chat.
Yeah.
So if you got some questions, let us know in the chat, and we're gonna answer those questions. We're gonna answer those questions if you got any. I do think one of the greatest questions that I think people have in relationships is like, how do I know they're the right one? How do I know they're the right one? And that's a loaded question.
That is.
Because if you think, and listen, if you think that there's only one right one in the entire world, and just one person gets the wrong one, that means everyone has the wrong one, because, it's just a domino effect. And so it's not really about finding the right one, although that's important. It's really important.
Yeah.
It's about becoming the right one.
That's right.
We ask the wrong questions.
Yes.
We ask the wrong questions. Become that man or that woman that you think the opposite sex is looking for. Become desirable. I mean, like, become wanted. Like, get your stuff together.
Yeah.
And if you're already married, that's like if you're not married. If you're already married, keep being the right one. Here's a common myth. Someone else will fix this relationship. I'll be happier with someone else. No, you can be happy right where you're at if you do the things that made you happy in the first place.
That's right.
Maybe you need to go, if you're unhappy in your relationship right now, maybe you need to just go buy a lock, find a fence, write your names on it, make the commitment to saying, we've got this locked down for life.
Yeah. Ooh.
We're on
That's
lockdown.
good. Yep. I agree.
What else you got before we're not going to stay long. You got anything else you want to share before we jump off? But before we jump off, we're going to give away
no, I don't.
for those that might not know, here it is right here.
That's it.
$200 Visa gift card
We are waiting
Good
to give it away.
for. Okay, we
wanna give it.
we got one question. Let's answer Davion's question.
Okay.
What are the best steps to take towards getting married? And I see Davion has been with his significant other 5 years strong. Congratulations, first of all,
Yeah,
on
that's
5
awesome.
years. Second of all, thanks for joining. We want to make it clear this is not just for married people. It's for people that want to know what married life looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
That's
like,
a great
like
question.
even if you've been divorced, hopefully you'll love, your heart will be healed and you'll find a way to love again. And, it's a good way to maybe just, find out what went wrong, I
Yeah.
mean, it's hardly ever one person's fault. Usually we each have a part to play. So if you're single, engaged, married and loving it, married and hating it, divorced, it doesn't matter what your relationship status is. We think we got something that will help you. But Davion, the best steps to take towards getting married, I would say, is this. This is a common mistake that I see in today's culture. And hear me out. I want to make sure you hear me out. I am not against big celebrations.
That's right.
I'm not against a fat diamond that costs thousands of dollars. I'm not against that venue that is just the most romantic, exquisite place. I'm not against the cake and the dress and man, all the stuff. I'm not against any of that.
You're talking about the day of
The
the
wedding
wedding day.
itself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time that goes into in preparation that goes into the day, one day
And money. There's a lot of time and money.
that you could probably spend elsewhere and have a better return on the investment. Here's why. Listen, what you need to spend money on that day is pictures.
That's right. Yeah.
Spend money on a photographer or a videographer nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Good investment.
what you want to do is not put so much attention and effort in only the wedding day. And I know there's brides and brides to be that's probably breaking your heart. I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is we neglect preparing for the relationship, and we get into the relationship after we get back from that honeymoon and we don't know what we signed up for.
That's right.
We think that the wedding day is some magical thing that's going to carry us into Never Never Land, and we're just going to be, happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is the steps you need to be taking is you need to be working on yourself personally, individually,
Mm-hmm.
and then working together with a pre-marriage counselor, a trusted, leader, a pastor. I would say get out of debt if you can,
Mm-hmm.
if as much as reasonable as you can. You want to make sure that financial issues aren't what you're bringing in to the marriage.
Yes.
I realize that's somewhat impossible maybe in some, scenarios, but be as debt free as you can. Make good, smart financial decisions. That's going to be a stress on the relationship.
And make sure that you're in a position financially where you are not only able to care for yourself, but you're financially stable to take care of a family, because that's what you're signing up for.
That's right.
And so I think just a little bit, tell our story a little bit
Yeah. So
about that.
I went to my pastor, and I told him, we wanted to get married. And one of the things that I was instructed to do, now this is almost 25 years ago, was number one, I need my own place. My pastor said, I don't want you taking your wife back to someone else's house. You need to get married and go to your own place. That's really hard these days. Man, you need to do your best to have your own place. I don't care if it's a travel trailer. I mean, I know things are expensive. Have better goals than that, but if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. You're going to enjoy that travel trailer better than a room with other people.
Yeah.
You're trying to enjoy yourself. You're going to learn a whole lot more about yourself once you're married and living together.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he said, I want you out of debt. And I cut up credit cards so I would not incur any more debt. And then I paid them things off. And when we got married, it wasn't a lot. We had a duplex, and we were debt free.
We had our own place.
Yeah.
We had our own, cars, our own finances, our own jobs. It really did set us up for success. And I appreciate that so much, because that's how we started out. And we were very young starting out.
Yeah.
And so I really do appreciate the advice and the wisdom that we got leading up to that, the wedding day. And so, although the wedding day was special, it's only one day. It doesn't.
We're not against wedding days.
Yeah,
Not at all.
it's over in like hours.
Yeah.
And so then you go on your honeymoon and you enjoy that, but then you come home and you realize that life isn't all the things that you experienced on your wedding day. It just life is so much different and difficult and looks different. And so now you're in the the part where you're getting to know each other, you're growing together as a married couple, you're finding things out, about each other that, you know, that maybe you didn't realize before, but like you're adjusting to each other.
Yep.
And so while you're in that period of adjustment, you don't want looming debt hanging over you. You don't want the financial stress and pressures, of that. You don't want, to be, sharing someone else's home, because that can bring on its own stresses. And I understand people do sometimes. I mean, I guess you have to do what you have to do, but it would just look so much better for you guys if you could just start.
It's gonna be a better start.
Yeah.
One more thing outside of the finances is I would make sure I have prepared my soul, my emotional health. If there's one thing I could say to do before you get
That's good.
married,
Yeah, that's really good.
you each should go to some form of professional counselor and make sure you've dealt with, to the best that you can, every last childhood hurt and scar and every last piece of trauma. You do not carry a single secret into your marriage, not
right.
one.
That's good.
Don't wait till you're married to dump it all on each other. That's terrible. That's a terrible idea. Terrible.
Yeah.
Get it worked out together beforehand.
That's really good wisdom. That's really good wisdom. You don't want, because that also can, just like the financial pressure, the emotional roller coasters that you go on, can just be just as damaging to a relationship. And so you want to make sure that you are your very best self for your spouse.
Yeah.
And so that also takes intentionality and it takes work. But all of that needs to be done before you say I do.
That's right.
Good advice.
And, there's other things, you've got to know where you're going to live. You got to have goals as far as careers and all those different things. But, some of those things can be a little more fluid. Sometimes life changes. But you don't want to have a whole lot of instability, up front. You want to have as strong as a foundation as possible when you're getting started. And so there's more. We'll be sharing more, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's good, though.
On this thing. Late night conversations. I don't know if you noticed it, but our last name is Night, K-N-I-G-H-T. And so it's late night, K-N-I-G-H-T, conversations. And that's one of the things we want to do on this podcast is we want to have conversations with each other that we've had. And we want to share those conversations with you. And then we want to have conversations with you. And so as we move forward with this channel, we want you to know that we're here for you. We're building, like a family almost of people that want to grow in this area. We want to see people last. And listen, if you've already experienced damage and trauma in your relationships, maybe you've already had a broken relationship, marriage, whatever it is, there is no shame that we, want you to experience. There's nothing you can do about that past relationship at this point other than heal and make sure you don't repeat the cycle or whatever might have happened. That's your job, is not to feel bad about it. I mean, there's pain and there's hurt and all those things, but what's done is done. What's done is done, and let's get healthy moving forward. All right. Well, I think we've got a clear winner. For this $200 gift card. And it appears to be Davian.
Oh, awesome.
So, Davian, I don't know what you and your special lady have planned for the weekend, but it looks like you're going to be receiving $200 because he's the one who asked the question.
Nice.
So we will get this to you ASAP, and we want everyone to know, whether you're with us live or watching this at a later time, man, we want to have real conversations around relationships, like helpful, encouraging, inspiring, you know, sometimes healing relationships or conversations around relationships.
That's right.
You got anything to say before we go?
No, just, I mean, even if you go back and watch this later at a later time, I mean, put your questions in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, we want to know like what you would love to know or to hear on this podcast concerning marriage and relationships. We are not licensed therapists. We're not licensed counselors. But we do, and we have been married for almost 25 years. And our passion and our love is to see couples thrive in their marriage. That has been a like down deep, heartfelt passion of ours for a very long time. And so
if we're completely honest, what we're doing sitting on this couch right now, Valentine's night in 2025 is a dream come true for us.
Yeah, that's right.
If you didn't know, we created this channel in 2020.
Yes, we did.
We created the name and the logo. Let us know what you think about that logo. Shout out Cameron Thompson on the logo.
Yeah.
But we created all that in 2020. And so for almost 5 years, we've waited and we've waited and we've waited. And listen, we didn't even know if Valentine's night would be a great night to launch this. And
we were just taking
who knows if it was or not, but we were like, hey, let's do it. Let's provide something for someone. And so, man, I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks
and
for doing this with me. We love y'all.
And I hope this helped anybody who's watching this next. And we'll see you guys next time.
We'll see you. Thanks.
Bye.